these are the originals I did, that and that. There's nothing much to it actually. It's it consists of square-inch squares and flying geese. Flying geese in two styles. They're one with plain wings and one with patterned wings, like that. And it needs 16 with plain wings, 4 with patterned wings, 5 square-inch squares, and some 4 1 3/4 inch squares for the corners. So the square-inch square is, I will do a downloadable PDF for this, but the square-inch square is 2¼ inches square with 2½ inch side pieces, and we attach them like this. Using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so both the sides on. Now you press them. So they're pressed. You can cut these off if you want to, cut it level with that, like that. But I don't bother, I just leave them on. And we attach these sides now, like so. We trim this to 3 inches. Making sure you leave a 1/4 inch seam allowance each side and line it up across with one of the bars on the ruler. We do it this way, thus. And we do it this way. So that's one of our 2 units for this. Now the next one is flying geese. So we do one side. It's the same with both, with the plain wings and the patterned wings. So we sew one side on. I think it's always better to start sewing here, because the 2 points, if you're not careful, can be pulled into the dog plate if you've got a jelly bean opening in your dog plate. This time it gets sewn on the actual line, on the drawn line, and you trim it back, leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then press it open. And you do the same on the other side for the other wing, like that. And it's the same thing again, you trim it off, leaving a seam allowance. And press it open. Now this has been made a 1/4 inch bigger each way. So we trim it back, leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance at the top, and just level it off on the bottom here. I'll just like that little bit of insurance. You trim it back to 1 3/4. And then trim it back this way to 3 inches. Keep the line on the bottom. And except for the little cornerstones, that's all there is to it. This with solid wings, this with patterned wings. And now we lay it out with the cornerstones, 3 of those. Then that goes that way, that goes there, like that, and another one going outwards. I actually have one more of these to trim, so I'll get on with that. Like that. And that. That and that. And the 2 cornerstones. And that's the layout. And just sew it in rows, and then sew it in rows that way. Someone suggested doing 2 at a time. I tried it, it was a mess, so I'm just going to do it in rows from now on. When putting this together, pardon me, as you sew row after row, you're going to need to sew these together before you complete the row. And the same with this one. So you sew those 2 together and then do the rows like that one there. So you need to sew so you can complete that row there. Right, I'll start sewing. There, it's been sewn crossways. Now all I've got to do is sew these together now, this way. And it's done. And that's it. A 10.5 inch block, 10 inch finished. In 3 different colorways. I think I prefer the blue. I like blue. Well, I've finally done that one. That's great. It seems to have taken a while because I was locked out of my room for a while anyway, as I said. So now I've got it all back again and I can get on with more and more blocks, which I love doing. I like sort of inventing blocks. So I've started another one anyway. And so I'll get on with that next, in amongst other jobs like gardening and so forth. But I really appreciate you watching. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.